We all understand and we know that the first few months with the newborn babies. Talking about that, have you ever felt mom guilt while working?
A lot of times I still do.
And also the other way around, I would like to ask, like sometimes you have the feeling that you're not able to do a lot at work because you're
Yes, I started working from home because it was COVID, okay?
like you tell your clients you should be doing it, but you know from inside कि ये तो मैं अभी break करने वाली हूँ. This is not possible. Hi everyone, welcome back to Unfiltered Moms. I'm Shilpi, a mom from Jaipur and co-founder of Ladderly. Here I bring you real and honest conversation regarding motherhood, work and everything in between. Today we are chatting with Deepthi, the woman behind Momming Bliss. She has been a support system for many moms across India. She has made them feel seen, heard and a little less alone. She has been a child development consultant and a postpartum coach. Welcome, Deepthi.
Hi, Shilpi. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you so much. So, are you excited?
Yes, very much.
Okay, let's start with Momming Bliss. What made you start this page, and how did the idea of being a parent coach came to your life?
Okay, so basically, I started this page just because I was, stuck in the COVID, and we were starting just me and my daughter. I was homeschooling her because she could not go to play school and everything. So I just thought that I would share my journey of this. And then I started, I kept sharing about the overwhelm that we are feeling because of this COVID, and how is it been with
Right.
kids at home and everything we have to do by ourselves, and how lonely it can get stuck in the same environment.
Right.
And I started getting a lot of support from people, and they started really acknowledging and really looking forward for post every day. So that is how it began.
Very nice. We all understand and we know that the first few months with the newborn baby is so tough, right? So, sleepless nights, endless crying, and no time for yourself. So, did you feel the same feelings? Did you have the same feelings, and how did you cope with that?
So basically, what happened was that, during my first baby, who is now 12 years old.
Okay.
So when she was there, I was living in a joint family. Okay. So I had a lot of support in the sense that, I had a nanny, especially for her. Then there was, I had a support system, family members. And because my daughter was the first daughter, first child in the family, so people always came, and, people were always in queue to take her one by one. So in that moment, I was always craving for when will my baby come to me.
Okay, it was the other way around.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
Okay.
But as we grew, as my postpartum period, like what we say that the 40 days period was over, and then I was stepping about after the, out of the room and everything.
Yes.
Then I started to see that, okay, now the excitement has reduced and everybody's now busy in their own work. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was like, do the household chores also, go to office also, manage the baby also. And then even if you've not slept through the night, come out in the kitchen and, just give the breakfast also. So it
Right.
was that, and that took a lot of time to settle in.
Right.
That,
Of course.
over here I am coming out and telling my mother-in-law that the baby did not sleep all night. She said, so what? People will have their breakfast on time. They will have to go to the office on time.
Right.
And I am not going to do this alone.
Yeah.
So I was taken aback, and it took a lot of time for me to settle that in, sink that in. And every day I and my husband were trying that, let's get a full house help maid, full timer, who can just replace me for a time being in at least the household chores, and I can focus on the baby. But no, every day we were calling a new maid, and she was being chucked out. I don't know, it just it just got pretty easy after a time, because we had a wedding in the family, and then I had to move out in my own space, like because the house was falling small for a bigger family. There was a new, like, my sister-in-law was getting married, so I had to move out because I had a baby and everything. So things that time, again, it was a different thing because I was all alone.
Right.
I was into a nuclear setup. Now there was nobody else to look after the baby except for me.
Right, of course. Struggles of mom. Like you say, it's a very easy thing, but it's more than 24/7. Even when you're
Yes, it
sleeping,
is.
you have them in your head.
Yes, even when, like, something like getting your eyebrows done.
Ah.
Okay, it just thinking that should I call somebody? Will somebody come to just give us the eyebrows? Or,
Huh.
do we have to go to the parlor? Can we take out that time to go to the parlor?
Right. Of course. Totally. I can understand and relate, and I think many, many moms can relate to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about that, have you ever felt mom guilt while working?
A lot of times I still do. So after a heavy day, when I come back home, it's like because I'm also a postpartum coach, I hear a lot of sad stories throughout the day.
Right.
Okay. And when I come back home, my kids are immediately looking for a hug.
Of course.
And I am looking just to, just go and change and wash my face and release what I have just absorbed.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
understand.
And then there is guilt. And sometimes I feel that, I don't want to hug them with this energy. No, I don't.
Right.
And they are just looking at me, okay, where, mama, hug. And I'm like, give me 1 minute. I'll just come. I'll just change my clothes and come.
Yeah.
And that 1 minute is also, okay, I did not hug my kid.
And also the other way around, I would like to ask, like, sometimes you have the feeling that you're not able to do a lot at work because you're also a mom.
Yes, I started working from home because it was COVID, okay? So there were so many sessions that I had to take with my
Online.
baby in my hand. Okay. And, at times she used to cry. But I would just say that, I am very, very grateful that I was only catering to mothers. And mothers always understood that my baby is crying right now and I need a break. I need to put them on a pause. I need to put them on a hold. And, I just need to look at my baby for 1 minute. And then, even though it was happening and they were understanding, they were like, okay, please take your time, we'll wait and everything. But still, I would feel guilty. No, I'm not giving my best shot.
That is what I want to ask, because, and how do you cope with that feeling? Like, what to do then?
What to do then? I just got used to it. I just got better with it. And I also taught my daughter some boundaries. So before a session, whenever I had a session, so I always made sure that I don't have back-to-back sessions. Okay. I always have a 15 to 30 minute filler in between a session. Okay. In those 15 to 30 minutes, I would take out time to sit with my daughter, fill her cup, emotionally, and prepare her that mama is going to be in a session. Now you have to wait. You think that there is something really urgent that you need to do. What you are going to do is you're just going to wave at me. Okay. So it took her a lot of time because I started teaching her this thing when she was 2 years old. And till now, she sometimes just drops in. Mama, meri class kitne baje hai? Mama. Okay. So right now also she was just telling me, Mama, let me sit through now. I will just be quiet. I was like, no, you can't.
Yeah. And like, you still have to make the kids understand, of course.
Yeah.
This happens. Okay.
Yeah.
In your content, you always simplify parenting so beautifully, right? So, what is that one thing, your one rule that you follow at work, but you break it at home?
I follow at home, but I follow
You
at
follow
work, but I
at
break
work
at home.
and you break it at home. Like you tell your clients you should be doing it, but you know from inside कि ये तो मैं अभी break करने वाली हूँ. This is not possible. Is it something? Is there anything?
I practice what I preach.
Yeah.
And that is why it comes very naturally to me. That is why it is so simple, because I have done it by myself.
Yes. That is why I want to ask, because there are a lot of people in the internet. There's so much of information, like you sometimes get overstimulated, like what should I do? But then it should be relatable as well, because we live in an Indian scenario, Indian setup. Everything is not practical for us. We need to be there for the kids, we need to be there for the family, but we need to be present for the work. It's not possible.
That is why I am very vocal about mom burnout.
Right.
I am very, very vocal about mom burnout, and I know each and everything a mom feels. But I also advocate the fact that, despite our struggles, despite our burnout, despite the overwhelm and overstimulation we are feeling, it's not our kids' job to bear that weight.
Right.
I do understand. And, I never break any rules at home. If I have broken a rule at home, I will tell the client that, okay, you also break. It's okay.
Okay.
I will tell them how to repair after how I repaired with my child.
Can you state this with an example?
Yeah, sure. That is what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Few weeks back, I just told, I was going out on a Sunday with my husband, and it's just, it's our little date kind of thing, our midtime kind of thing, that I and my husband go out on a Sunday afternoon. Okay. And my daughter just asked me, little one, 6 years old, and she told me, Mama, can I also come? I was like, okay, come.
हाँ.
And then she got ready. She asked me what time will we leave at, and I told her that this time we'll leave and everything. She got ready and everything. When she got ready, I realized that we also have to go out for a dinner.
Okay.
Okay, and over there will be so many kids of her age, and she would enjoy more over there. So I
Right.
just told her that, Ivana, today I just remembered that we also have to go out at night. You don't come with us right now, okay? Because you will get tired and you will not be able to enjoy at night, okay? And then she just, she was shocked. She was like, Mama, you promised. And I was like, Ivana, I know I promised, but right now also I'm talking to you, na? She said, but you promised. And I was like, it's okay. I am right now also talking to you and I'm not giving you an instruction. She started to fake cry. And I was like, don't you give this fake cry to me. No? You know that I'm a child development consultant, so I cannot, you cannot manipulate me with this thing. And I told her, and I told her, don't give me this fake cry. Okay. So she just calmed herself, she composed herself, and then I was getting ready. She came to me and she told me, Mama, whatever you're doing is not correct. Now I made up my mind and I got ready, and then you are telling me not to go. How would you feel if someone did this to you?
And she was right in a way.
Yeah. And then I sat back and I said, I am really sorry. Okay. I am going with you today. You are coming with me today. Okay. But let's not make this a habit. Okay. You are coming with me today because I made a promise to you and then I broke it. Okay. So I am going to listen to you today and I'm going, because you were prepared mentally. That is why I'm going to take you today. But let's not make this a habit. So she said, you will also take me in the evening. Now you will not say that you are only allowed to go out once. I was like, no, I will not say anything because I am going to take charge for it because it was my mistake.
Okay.
Okay. And she said that, okay, I'll take a small nap in the car.
And it was
she
all
was like,
sorted.
yeah. So she was like, okay, I'll take a short nap in the car and so that I don't get tired. It's like, okay, done. And then there we were.
So there's a middle way always. Like I think conversation with your kid is very important. This is what I felt, right? Okay.
And giving your child the liberty to question you.
Yes, exactly. Right. Giving that liberty is very important. She was able to tell you. Yeah, that is very important.
And she had the exact words. She knew the exact sentences to use, which is impeccable. And she really surprises me at times with her questions and with her these things. When she comes to me like that, that okay, Mama, this is not right. You didn't do this right.
And that is very good.
Yeah, and that is my learning every day. That is how I'm able to tell my clients about the child's perspective, because my daughter is so vocal about it.
Of course, because you are being through it every single day. And of course, the certification and the work studies you have done, that is also there. But the practical experience you're getting every single day with your kids. So this makes you more relatable as well for the clients. That's how you can work more better.
Yeah. And what I think is that, my experiential learning contributes a lot more to my growth rather than my certificates and degrees.
I can see that, of course. Like whatever you are saying, I am a young mom. Okay. My daughter is just 17 months old. And I have my cousins who have the older kids and everything. And whatever you are saying, I can relate to it because sometimes people struggle. Like what is happening, the tantrums the kids show. Oh my God, that is so heavy to deal with it. Once you are back from work and then the kids are also showing you tantrums. And you feel ki, where to go now? Like what did I do wrong? So I think the conversation is very important, mom to mom or mom to kid or anywhere. If you can speak about what you have in your heart, Deepti, you have helped over 5,000 moms through your sessions, more than that, of course. What's one thing that moms come to you very generally? What's the most common issues that moms are facing, and what is the solution for it?
So the most common issue is that comments on the baby. That is the most common issue. The unsolicited advice, the comments on how is the baby walking, how is the baby talking, कोई भी बच्चे को देख के बोल देना hyperactive है, ऐसे term हो गया normal सा, and then the mother goes into a downward spiral. सब ठीक है ना, my child is developmentally fine ना, everything is okay ना. And sometimes I see that, the mom just booked a consultation with me just to confirm that, whatever she's fearing is wrong.
Right. So this is the most common thing that moms
most common thing, that the in-laws are saying that there is something, हमारे बच्चे तो ऐसे नहीं करते थे, please check करो उसको क्या है, इतना बदतमीज है, इतना tantrums throw करता है, ऐसे है वैसे है. all these things, mostly it is that there is no support at home and nobody understands modern parenting.
And what is that one solution you give to them? Like everybody, like what is that one thing you would say to them?
I would just say that, work on yourself. That is my biggest thing, that work on yourself. You know, we draw a line, okay? And if I ask you, I'll just share, if I can use a
Yes,
whiteboard.
yes.
Okay, can you see me now? Make this line. How will you make it short?
I
Suppose this line is,
think I know this because I'll
yeah,
make this line bigger. Yeah.
yeah. So because suppose there is in-laws and this is troubling you, okay? So now when you become bigger than this, okay, this line automatically becomes small and short. Okay, so this is something that I really tell them, that work on yourself, grow and evolve as a mother, so that when you are aware and when you are confident that whatever you are doing is right, okay, then you will not get affected by these people. Now, why are you getting affected with these people? Because you are not sure what you're doing is correct or not.
Very beautifully you have said this and stated it, I guess. Because
Yes.
moms like to hear this. Like, you're doing good.
Yes. Basically, what happens is, the common scenario, what I felt is, and this is not, I'm not trying to offend any pediatrician over here or anything, but pediatricians are also humans. And when they are meeting your child, meeting a patient, the window is so small, so short. Okay? When they meet you, they are just like, attended a patient, given a medicine, and then next. Okay. They do not get time to just, dive deep into the child and analyze and study the child until and unless the matter has become complicated.
True.
It does happen, and many pediatricians who are my clients, they have confirmed that yes, this happens. Okay. Now what happens is that the mother will go for starting solids also, they will ask the pediatrician. Okay. For crawling and walking also, they will ask the pediatrician. For lactation support also, they will ask the pediatrician. I am just saying that a pediatrician can be a jack of all trades. But there are specialized people these days available.
For every single thing, yes.
For every single thing.
Yes.
So why don't you're as it is approaching for help. Okay. You're as it is asking
why
help.
Don't you go for
why not ask the
specialization?
right person?
Right.
Why not ask a person who can give you your undivided attention, and give you 40-50 minutes of deep explanation and giving you the knowledge-based, science-backed evidence that this is what you should do.
Totally agree to it. Very correctly.
Yes. So basically, most of the time I see that, okay, it's okay for babies not to crawl. Okay, it's okay for babies to stand up and walk straight away. It's okay to skip crawling. It could be, but I would not advise it. I would not. And I have no fear in saying this out loud, that, this is the most important milestone. All the reflexes are just based on, get integrated because of crawling.
Yes.
Most of the reflexes that we talk about, that should be that should get integrated within the first year, they get integrated because of crawling.
Right.
Okay. And the baby should at least crawl for 3 months. Minimum 3 months before they start to walk. There is no hurry in walking. Then we should not rush the child. The primary focus should be on rolling and crawling.
Really? Is like that important?
Really.
Okay.
Really. It is that important.
Okay. I think we'll have to take a separate session only for these topics, because I think everybody would be so interested in having a conversation regarding this. Very nicely said. Okay. On a lighter note, let's play a game. So it's a truth or myth. Okay? You just have to say if it's true or myth. Sleep training will ruin your baby's emotional bond.
Pass. I would not like to comment on it.
Okay. Good moms don't lose their temper.
Myth.
Postpartum depression happens only right after delivery.
Myth.
If your child has a delay, it's always the parent's fault.
Myth.
Self-care is selfish.
Myth.
Only screen-free moms are good moms.
Myth.
You should enjoy every moment of motherhood.
Myth. Biggest myth.
Really? Deepti, so since we had such a good conversation with you, and I think no time is limited for you, like we can just have this conversation on and for a longer time, of course. But before we let you go, Deepti, I would like to know one thing. There should be a quick advice for moms listening over there and who feels that they have to choose between their passion and motherhood or maybe parenting. What should they do?
So first of all, we have to prioritize. The baby always comes first. That's okay. And when even the mom would not like, she would only suffer from guilt if she is prioritizing her work and not her baby.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we build structures? build systems. And we know that whatever time we are giving, that time is undivided. That time only belongs to my baby. I say you stay at home all day. Don't work on your passion. Don't go to office. Okay, stay at home all day. You will still be burnt out.
Yes, of course.
And what are you contributing while just doing this? हाँ बच्चा, ठीक है बच्चा, अच्छा बच्चा रुक जाओ. Wait. What are you doing this? Right. It's better to go out and follow your passion. At least enjoy what you're doing. Don't get burnt out. Okay.
Very right.
Give your child 9 minutes a day. Okay. And make them most important minutes of the day.
Okay. So thank you so much, Deepti, for being so real and honest. This chat literally felt like a therapy. I loved it. And to all the moms out there, do follow Momming Bliss. It's the kind of support that we all need. And see you all there for the next time in more stories of unfiltered moms. Thank you so much, Deepti.
Thank you so much, Shilpi. Thank you for having me. It was really nice.